Live from the Seaport District of Pier 17, brought to you by Chase. And here's your menu for this hour of Get Up. We're getting up with the Lakers. Now this has gotten completely out of hand. You won't believe what happened to them in Memphis last night. You're going to see it and hear LeBron's very strong reaction in a minute. Then, no Zion tonight. Sean has told you the last thing you're expecting anyone to say about the presumptive #1 pick. We'll talk about him and what they can do in his absence. And the streak is over for the Beard. Jalen tells you this might be the best thing that could have happened for the reigning MVP. All that and more in this hour of Get Up, which again starts with the Lakers taking on the Grizz. And Jalen, this opening sequence, we're in the first quarter here, and just look at the lack of defensive intensity that you're going to see from the Lakers.
And that's basically what it's been all season, Greeny. Not defending the three-wheel, not defending the paint, not giving extra effort plays, hustle plays. As you see, Memphis continuing to move the basketball until they finally get the shot that they want.
Yeah, they got to get it on a tip in here. I mean, look, there's not a lot of LeBron even involved in this. Not a lot of defensive intensity. Again, first quarter of action is what it is. But then you got the Grizzlies. You got Avery Bradley. Oh, Brandon Ingram. Not a great moment for him. Bradley breaking ankles. Grizzlies up 5 at halftime.
It's never good when the guy went #2 overall in the draft.
The Lakers down 5 in the fourth now, and here comes a controversial moment in a night filled with a few of them. LeBron's going to lay it up. Joakim Noah's going to swat this out of here. How this is not goaltending, I have no idea. Watch where the ball is when Noah goes after it. Here's LeBron after the game.
Now, I won't even tell you what the explanation was, but what he told me was the ball went off the backboard, and when the ball hit the rim, he was allowed to touch the ball. That doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense, certainly not when you watch it again. One way or another, with 1 minute left, the Lakers would be down 4. LeBron's going to get out in transition. He's going to get the bucket and the foul of Jalen. He's got to go up and make this foul shot.
Absolutely. You look at the score of the game, it's a one-possession game. LeBron makes his free throw. It affects the outcome. Not only that, but how they play these last few possessions.
Exactly. So now what happens off the miss here, just watch the shot clock. You're at 17, you're at 16, you're at 15. That's 9 seconds, and they haven't gotten it over the line. Should have been an 8-second call. Yep. They don't get it. They're forced to foul, the Lakers are, and so now they get one last chance. 30 seconds to go. Lakers are down 4 again, and LeBron's going to get called for the charge right there. Good call, bad call.
I thought Joakim Noah was still moving, but it was a bang-bang play.
Well,
I think when you're the best player in the game, you normally get the benefit of the whistle.
LeBron got the triple-double, but not the benefit of the win. Grizzlies take it. LeBron, listen to this.
Playoff push and the fact that that's all anybody's talking about with 25 games to go, basically. Has that become a distraction at all? And does it affect the way, have you felt like it has affected the way your team plays in close situations?
At this point, if you are still allowing distractions to affect the way you play, then this is the wrong franchise to be a part of, and you should just come and be like, listen, I can't do this. Like, seriously, if you're distracted by playoff pushes and then all the stuff that's been talked about this year, that just come and do your job. We do our job at a high level, and that's not a distraction. That's what you want. That's what you want every game. You want to feel like you're fighting for something.
All right, so LeBron and the Lakers struggling, and BPI doesn't think it's going to get any better. In the previous 25 seasons, excluding strike-shortened years, only 39 of 311 teams that were under 500 through 60 games ended up in the playoffs. That's 13%, and as we've told you, BPI gives this group of Lakers only a 6% chance to get into the playoffs. Sean Farnham, do you believe the Lakers will get into the playoffs?
No, not at all. And it goes back to the same thing we talked about on Friday when we were on the program. It's fine. You have a nice win. You beat Boston. Okay, what'd you do? Oh, you lose to the Hawks. It's the inconsistencies in this group. If you want to make the postseason from where they're at right now in the Western Conference, you need to string together 4, 5, 6 wins in a row. Look at their upcoming schedule and tell me where you're going to find these. All right, they might beat the Pelicans because the Pelicans just really don't want to win. But they're not beating the Bucks. They're probably not beating the Clippers. They're not beating the Nuggets. They're not beating the Celtics. They're going to lose those games. And by the way, we can't even say that they're going to beat the Suns because those are the teams they're losing to right now.
Jalen, I was particularly interested in what we heard LeBron saying there, because when he says, if you're still being distracted, then you're in the wrong franchise. Well, unless I'm crazy, is he talking to Kyle Kuzma, Lonzo Ball, and Brandon Ingram, and all these guys? Is he talking about the trade conversations?
Yeah, he stopped himself short of saying if you're distracted by a playoff push for a team that's won 4 of their last 14 games, or trade rumors.
Right.
He just didn't say that part. You need to play for another franchise. He tried to get them to play for another franchise. It's that the Pelicans didn't return their call, and they were not able to do a deal. And here's what happened. I played on some really good teams. I played on some poor teams. I watched that game. And when you're a 500 team or below, it seems like you never get the benefit of the whistle. That's just how it works when you're not a good team. When everything is humming and you playing well and the extra effort plays are there, you get the benefit of the whistle. When you're below 500 team, it just doesn't happen.
I would just like to say that I feel like we're forgetting the fact that Lonzo Ball's injury has an effect on the way that this team plays, and a high ankle sprain is not easy to come back from or be 100% from. I also think it would take a Herculean effort. I believe that's a word, but they have Hercules. He's LeBron James. Like, it could still happen. And we kind of looked at that schedule, and they did beat the Celtics. Maybe an accident. I get it, Jalen. You get mad every time I say that. You know what I mean?
Are you
like, there are some games out there that they could still win, and again, you're trying to beat out, like the Spurs.
Okay, but seriously though, would you put dinner, a nice New York dinner, on a Monday night?
For you, Sean, Jalen, and Greeny, I would.
Okay, so that's how confident you are they're going to make the playoffs.
That's how confident I am.
This is a good bet for all of us.
I want to give Maria and Lakers fans some hope. While they are struggling, the reason why they aren't panicking is the San Antonio Spurs have been in the free fall.
Yep.
The Clippers don't want to make the playoffs because they want to keep their first-round pick instead of the Celtics actually getting it. And the Sacramento Kings have never been in this position before, and they've lost their last couple of games. That's the hope for the Los Angeles Lakers. So if they do get in, they're definitely going to back in, and then they're going to play the Golden State Warriors in the first round, and whoever plays against the Warriors in the first round will be losing in 5.
I'm in on dinner either way, someplace with, preferably someplace with a sommelier. But may I turn to you quickly and say, this obviously has been rough, and we knew there'd be up and downs. Has this been worse than you expected it to be for the Lakers in LeBron's first season?
Yeah, it's been a massive disappointment. And look, I live in LA. I hear it. I mean, you go to the coffee shop and everybody's talking as soon as LeBron James, we're going to get to the playoffs. I mean, we could be a 6 seed. We could maybe, people are like, hey, we could maybe even get to a 4. It's like, that's too much. But for Laker fans in particular, this is an organization that drives Los Angeles. And I would tell you that even with the Rams making the Super Bowl, there were more people interested in Anthony Davis potentially becoming a Laker than even the Rams making the Super Bowl. And so there's disappointment with the way this season has gone.
Well, the good news, Lakers fans, is you beat the Rockets, but you did lose to the Hawks, but they both played each other last night. So we're going to do the highlight right now. Let's do it, Jalen, because
the Rams only scored 3 points in the Super Bowl.
They did.
Well, that was
so a lot
too.
of disappointment. If you were wanting
if they don't get Bryce Harper, it's over.
You might be disappointed about this too. A couple of missed threes. Remember, he's already got 32 straight 30-point games. Okay, trying to make it 33, but the 3-ball was not falling for Harden last night, Jalen.
He was going for it, Maria. 21 field goal attempts, 0 for 10 from 3, 16 free throw attempts as well.
Well, the good news is once he started drawing in defenders, making the extra pass.
There we go.
There you go. Austin Rivers knocking down the 3 in the corner. Harden had 17 points through 3 quarters, which is his fewest since December 6th, but he is coming off a neck injury. Remember, he didn't play on Saturday against the Warriors. Then he starts dropping those in.
Rivers has been a nice in-season pickup. It's helped solidify their backcourt minutes when guys been in and out of the lineup.
Harden makes it 21 points with that lay-in, and then after 2 free throws, he's got 23. How about another 3? Oh, no, that's not going to go either. Sorry.
They're doing a good job of suffocating him at the 3 line. That's what teams normally do in the playoffs to force him to do this. Float on. That's what he's going to have to do. Play some mid-range.
I like that. Float on. We'll take the teardrop then. That gave him 28 points. Final seconds of the game. Harden has the ball. The fans are cheering. Go. You got to score. 2 points away. And he picks it up after he gets over half-court line.
Do you think if the Hawks didn't surround him like that, he would have shot the ball?
You tell me.
No, I don't
Absolutely, he would have shot the ball. I've seen him do it in his 30-game streak.
Well, the good news
pull up the
is
footage.
Rockets win it. Harden doesn't have 30 points, but he still seems happy in the locker room after.
It was great, but I was just doing it because that's what we had to do in order to keep our heads above water. Now we get our full roster back. You look at the roster, the stat line, we had multiple guys in double figures, which is great to see. So hopefully we can keep that up. And we got 22 more games left to kind of catch rhythm and find a rhythm for where we're trying to go.
The streak had kind of taken a life of its own. Are you almost happy a little bit that it's over?
Yeah. It was cool. I know I wasn't going to get to number 1, so.
It was cool or whatever. I could have taken the shot. I didn't. Just how impressive was Harden's streak, though? Take a look at this, guys. Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal now on the longest active streaks, scoring 30 points, and that's with 3 games and 2 games, respectively. Remember, his ended at 32 games.
Maria, can I remind the world of something? That Russell Westbrook is averaging a triple-double for the 3rd straight season.
Yeah.
Hashtag never forget.
Okay, I never thought somebody would do that. I thought my favorite player is Magic Johnson. Somebody would have done that by now.
Now, it hadn't happened. How about Kevin Durant last night? Warriors, Hornets. KD was just red hot. First quarter, watch the moves. Unstoppably would score 13 in the first.
That's just nasty. A guy 6'11" with unlimited range can flirt with 50, 40, 90 seasons. Is why he's a prolific scorer.
But here's why this team is so good. But you're going to see DeMarcus Cousins outside and then inside. They've added all of this.
Well, the one thing about playing for the Golden State Warriors, when you boogie, it's great to have a season high. However, I look deeper into the box score. Zeller was doing work on the other side, too. He had like 28-9.
Yeah, but the box score part that matters was that Cousins had 24 and 11. And then this happens to him. This is just a ridiculous sequence here. Jeremy Lamb loses his shoe on the floor. It's in the middle of the action. They don't stop the action. DeMarcus Cousins flips the shoe out of the way and is called for a technical. The rule is you cannot throw anything into the stands at any time. No room for judgment, I suppose, because had there been, you certainly would not have called a T on DeMarcus Cousins here, and he was frustrated.
Next time, I'll just, step on the shoe and, roll my ankle, break it, tear an Achilles, just leave it out there next time. I guess that's what they want. I keep that in mind.
All right, so frustration from him on that. Candidly, I'm completely on his side. But either way, he played well, and the Warriors got the win. Let's hear from Steve Kerr.
This is the happiest he's looked. He looked the most comfortable tonight, and he made a couple moves around the hoop where he showed great agility, and so this is the best he's looked. I don't know what he would say if you asked him if it was his best game, but he looked great.
K been preaching to, well, I ain't gonna say preaching. K been cussing me out. Just about stop thinking about it and just go play my game. I found some spots and made some plays. So like I said, it's good to get a good one under my belt.
All right, is he starting to round into form offensively? We'll see. He was 5 of 9 when contested yesterday. That's his most makes in a game this season. He entered the game shooting just 27% when contested. So the Warriors get the win. Let me get you to the latest from the baseball, because if you check your calendar, it says February 26th, and Bryce Harper still doesn't have a baseball team. We talked to our baseball insider, Jeff Passan, earlier this morning about the very latest on Harper's prolonged free agency.
It looks like we're finally starting to move toward a conclusion. Sources are telling me that they believe some kind of an agreement is going to be in place probably by the end of the week. Now, we've heard that before, and this sounds like a broken record, but people with the Phillies, with the Dodgers, get the sense that Bryce Harper's decision is going to be coming soon. And the big question is, will he want the long-term deal that he's been holding out for this entire time? Or will he consider taking a short-term deal with the Dodgers and going to play for a team that's been to back-to-back World Series?
Those are the questions. And again, as we bring Mark Teixeira back into it, the fact that we still have questions on February 26th it's unprecedented, and candidly, it's startling. And how do you think this plays in Philadelphia if and when he does eventually take the deal there?
It's very interesting because let's assume that there's a 10-year, $300+ million offer out there. That's what Harper's looking for, $400 million. So I don't even think we'd be having this conversation if Philly wasn't close. But let's just say he does sign with Philly and he shows up and there's a perception that he didn't want to play in Philly. The pressure on him is going to be incredible. I mean, we talk about the best, craziest fans being in New York and Boston with the Yankees and Red Sox, but guess where the toughest fans in baseball are? They're in Philly. Mm-hmm. I've heard the home fans boo their home players for years. Mm-hmm. So if Harper comes in here, there's any type of perception he didn't want to be there, it's going to be very difficult.
That sounds like the toughest fans just in Philly in general. All the way around, they talk about it. But if he does sign a deal with the Dodgers, are we talking about a situation where we automatically accept them as World Series favorites? Like, is that the kind of baseball we're talking about?
I think National League favorites. Mm-hmm. I mean, I look up and down the National League, and the Dodgers are still the best team. They still have the best roster. You have Corey Seager coming back healthy this year. You have Walker Buehler as the ace of the staff now, throwing 98 miles an hour with a dirty slider. You know, this is a team that can get back to the World Series without Bryce Harper. You add him to the mix, and they're absolutely the favorites in the NL.
And just to sort of put a ribbon on the conversation from Philly standpoint, I mean, the reporting that we had was that they have drawn a line in the sand. February 26th, what do you make of that?
February 20th, it should be December 26th when you draw a line in the sand. I mean, for me, when I was a free agent, I signed my contract right before Christmas. I thought that was late. So here we are. Spring training games are started. When does it become late if you're the Phillies and Bryce Harper or the Dodgers and Bryce Harper? It's been late for a while.
Yeah, that's the expression. It gets late early out here. It has gotten late out here, and we'll see. And by the way, meanwhile on planet Earth yesterday, as this news was breaking of the Dodgers' renewed interest in Bryce Harper, do you believe in these kinds of omens? This was outside the Dodgers facility. There was actually a Brinks truck parked just outside their spring training facility. Were they backing up the truck with a whole bunch of cash to dump in the direction of Bryce Harper? I guess only they know for sure. But if you believe in that sort of thing, the Brinks truck at Dodgers camp is not a bad sign. Maria.
Oh, there's probably a Brinks truck near this guy, too. Zion Williamson, he's been ruled out for tonight's game against Virginia Tech, but Williamson leads the Blue Devils with 15 points per game in the paint, which is third most in Division I. Duke has not been as efficient down low without their starting center, but they're still making it work. And I have to fully admit, Sean Farnham, that I really, really like R.J. Barrett. Like, he's one of my favorite players in college basketball right now. That's because the numbers he puts up against top 10 teams. Right now, 26 points. He shoots at about 50% from 2, 40% from 3, and we saw what he did against Syracuse, but how is he making it happen?
Look, this is a guy that can play in all phases of the game. He can impact. We saw it with the triple-double that he had.
Sure.
I mean, he can really hurt you in a variety of ways. So let's go look at different ways that R.J. Barrett can influence the game. As we watch this play right here, you're going to see the screen get set here. What RJ's doing is he's reading this defensive player, the defender on the screen, because he knows if this defensive player starts to take some steps back, that's going to create a seam for him to drive. Well, what happens? Defensive player goes back, he goes left. Just from a historical perspective, he finishes excessively better than James Harden going to his left than he did in college, and even better than this year. All right, let's look at this. Now you've got Zion Williamson. He's going to attack the paint. These guys are all frozen because of that. What R.J. Barrett recognizes is I've got a shooter right here. I'm going to make a simple play. I'm not going to force the game. I'm not going to force up a drive, even though I'm efficient at it. I'm going to make my teammate better. It's little things like this that helps make R.J. Barrett's game so much better. You've got his defensive player. You're helping off of R.J. Barrett. What do you have to do? The biggest thing as a shooter on the outside, relocate just ever so slightly, creates a longer run out. That longer run out leads to an uncontested, wide-open three-point shot. This is why R.J. Barrett, to me, again, should be the number one pick because his talent level translates extremely well to the NBA level. But more importantly, it's why Duke, even without Zion Williamson, is going to go into Virginia Tech tonight and get a victory.
I think it's interesting, too, because against Syracuse, you know they play that zone. So he was almost the 4. Like, he had to go into the soft spot and constantly make plays there. We've seen his versatility. I mean, what have you seen from the versatile R.J. Barrett?
He's never uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I saw this young man when he was 16 years old going against a healthy Michael Porter Jr. at the Nike Hoop Summit. And I left that week with everybody already signed. He was the youngest guy there by 2 years. He was the guy that was most impressive out of any of them. That's why I'm such a big fan out of him, because he never gets rattled. He's been on the big stage before in the spotlight. And without Zion, the spotlight is shining on RJ, and he's shining.
I think we forget how young he is, because remember, he reclassified. So he's one of the youngest players as well. And let's talk about the help that he may or may not receive against, say, a Virginia Tech team. Cam Reddish has to shoot the ball well. We have to see more from Trey Jones. Do you see that happening as the time progresses and Zion is not on the court?
Yeah, I think what you start to see even from the first game when this transpired against North Carolina, they were out of sorts. And they were stunned, and they didn't respond well. You were there.
Yeah.
Electric environment, great pictures with Obama, by the way.
Thank you.
All right, but you watch it against Syracuse, and this was a team that was far more comfortable with where they had to get the ball. Delorier had a much better game underneath, and they're trying to find ways to get other people involved. And that's why I don't worry too much about tonight's game, because you're looking at a Virginia Tech team, too, without Justin Robinson, that has lost their floor leader, and that's much more of a substantial loss because it's impacted them at both sides of the ball. R.J. Barrett is going to lead the way again tonight. The complementary pieces are just fine at Duke. We don't have to hit the panic button on Duke.
The question that we always ask when we're talking about college basketball, especially in the one-and-done era, is where are you going when you get drafted? And you would take him number 1 overall.
I would take him number 1 overall.
Jalen Rose almost came
I'd get
off
fired.
Yeah.
I'd get fired as general manager because we wouldn't sell seats like we would if Zion's there. But this man can flat out go. He is legit.
All right, 14 for 20 against Syracuse. That's shooting 70% without Zion on the floor against a zone. And oh, by the way, in case you didn't know it, Steve Nash is his godfather. His dad played for the Canadian national team, and he's only, 18? So the guy is pedigree, and obviously he puts up the numbers to make him productive. Coming up next on Get Up, ESPN.com released their new power rankings, and the Warriors are not the #1 team. Who is, and why is it right to make this call? And Anthony Davis played last night for the Pelicans, just not when it really actually mattered. And if you were a teammate, how angry would you be? We've got some professional athletes out here. Maybe we'll ask them the question.
Almost time for me to go.
Well, what if I...
Drove me home?
What if we lost track of time?
What if we took a leap of faith?
What if you...
Missed my flight next week?
The all-new RAV4. Toyota. Let's go places.
Now that Sarah's sleeping on her new IKEA mattress, she's waking up refreshed, not rushed. See you later, dry shampoo.
Did you wash your hair?
Do you know they make shampoo for the shower?
Fancy.
Should try it.
Be the morning person you're not.
Where it comes from. Why some have it and some don't. It's the fighting spirit. It consumes fear and weakness. It stands ready to fight whatever shape the battle takes. Because as long as there are battles, there will always be Marines.
I can't believe it. I've been playing 4-on-4 with a barbershop quartet.
Pass the ball, pass the rock. We're open, just pass the ball.
Nah, I can't believe how easy it was to save hundreds of dollars on my car insurance with Geico. Yeah.
The J, shoot the...
Believe it, Geico could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Make a date with Popeye's 2 Can Dine for $10. Just find someone as special as my chicken and share 5 pieces, 2 sides, and 2 biscuits for just $10. You're gonna fall in love with my 2 Can Dine for $10 deal.
AT&T provides edge-to-edge intelligence, covering virtually every part of your business. So if someone tries to breach your firewall in London and you start to panic, don't. You've got allies on the outside. And if your customers love this color and don't love this one,
Never getting grape again.
you can adjust in near real time. And if it's jammed up here and hot in here, you can do this, and your flowers won't wilt. AT&T provides edge-to-edge intelligence. It can do so much for your business, the list goes on and on. That's the power of and. And if this patient's blood sugar drops.
Raccoon.
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 Rocketon? Oh! Is it my money? Rocketon. Rocketon.
Call it what you will. The tee shot, the first strike. Here, it's more. The push, the grit, the will. All part of the drive at the Masters.
We have have a huge half hour coming your way here on Get Up on ESPN with a lot of topics to get to and a very special guest on his way into our studio. In just 5 minutes, we'll tell you which is actually the best team in the National Basketball Association. It's not the one you think it is. Should the Pelicans just sit Anthony Davis for the remainder of the season? Everyone's in on that conversation. And then our special guest makes his way into our studio to discuss whether or not Tiger Woods will win a major this year. That and more as we roll on. It's Get Up on ESPN.
You still stressed about buying our first house, sweetie?
Yeah, I thought doing some hibachi grilling would help take my mind off it all.
Maybe you could relieve some stress by calling Geico for help with our homeowner's insurance.
Geico helps with homeowners insurance?
They sure do. And they could save us a bundle of money, too.
I'm calling Geico right now. Cell phone. It's ringing.
Get to know Geico and see how much you could save on homeowners and condo insurance.
When freedom is threatened around the world, when floodwaters rise, and wildfires rage, wherever the fight, whoever the enemy, when America needs her best, she sends a soldier. Do you have what it takes? Find out at goarmy.com/warriors.
If your mouth is made to amaze, let Philips Sonicare give its care a raise. Get a month's worth of manual brushing in just 2 minutes. Philips Sonicare. Next level clean, next level care. There's always a way to make life better. Philips Sonicare.
Morning, 2 coffees and 4 orders of those new donut sticks.
You must really love these donut sticks.
I do, but they're not for me. They're for them.
Meet me in the middle. I'm losing my mind.
I will take a coffee, though.
Introducing new cinnamon sugar donut sticks from McCafe. Made fresh every morning. It's a little sweet to go with your coffee.
This is the all-new Chevy Silverado.
It's beautiful.
Beefy and mean looking.
It's the strongest, most advanced Silverado ever. The cab is bigger than the last generation.
First truck I've seen make you look small.
But that's not all.
Oh my!
Whoa! The Silverado has more cargo volume than any competitor.
Very impressive.
Now, during the Chevy President's Day sales event, get 0% financing for 72 months on this all-new Silverado. Drive yours away this President's Day.
Wherever you go, however you go, for energy on the go, it's gotta be 5-Hour Energy. And with 0 sugar and 4 calories, there's nothing holding you back. Works fast, works long, tastes good. 5-Hour Energy. Energy on the go.
The exclusive stuff that I have is stuff that you can only see here. A Bill Self self-portrait from the 3rd grade. ESPN Plus also has tons of exclusive games and shows. It's also a lot less than I paid for this.
Mom, Texas Wesleyan gave me a 4-year scholarship worth $80,000.
$80,000? Oh yeah! You're going to college.
Please stop. Dad!
Is she flossing? Texas Wesleyan. Small school, big scholarships. That's smaller, smarter.
45 years ago, our family raised the bar on barbecue. We didn't change with the times because we prize family, tradition, and value above all else, and never ever being stingy with our meat. Soul Man's Barbecue, raising the bar since 1974.
I'm feeling good.
Make the most of your business card with Vistaprint.
I'm feeling good.
500 standard cards start at just $9.99 with code BC Now.
I'm feeling good.
Own the now with Vistaprint.
Dear, I had 27 in the first game. I'm not trying to sound arrogant and cocky because that's not who I am, but I don't think there's one guy that can stop me.
So, don't look now, but there's a new team atop ESPN.com's power rankings, and that team is the Milwaukee Bucks. You see the order: Warriors, Raptors, Nuggets, Thunder round out the top 5. Let's take it to the table. Jalen Rose. Our basketball power index tells us that Milwaukee would be favored, at least in their minds, against Golden State in a 7-game series, regardless of which team has home court. Milwaukee or Golden State?
The Golden State Warriors, the team that are going for their,
third straight championship in fourth in 5 years. We know that. That's history. How about right now and into the immediate future?
Right now, the Golden State Warriors have to be my choice because the thing we aren't talking about a lot, we saw KD do his amazing crossover early. Klay's having a breakthrough season. Is Steph Curry is having an epic year. He's shooting so efficient from the floor, in particular from 3. In leading this basketball team. Multiple games where he's made at least 10 3-pointers. They have multiple guys in the playoffs that I've seen do it. I hope that the Bucks get there with Middleton and Brogdon and Bledsoe and Lopez, and maybe this will be their breakthrough. But I've seen the Golden State Warriors' body of work. I have to say they're the best team in basketball.
Yeah, 12-1 in their last 13 games. And like you mentioned, who do you choose to stop? How do you scheme to stop them? We talk about how playoff defense is different, right? And everybody's saying, well, you can't have James Harden doing what he does because in the playoffs, they're going to defend those on-ball screens differently. They're going to force him, kind of like the Hawks did last night, into taking some bad shots, lower percentage, and having to give the ball up. Well, if the Warriors are giving the ball up, which when they're at their best and they're playing playoff basketball, that's what they're doing. They're giving it up to another all-star that can score 30 or 40 points on a given night. And for me, there's no doubt the Golden State Warriors are the best team in the NBA.
I think there's too many all-stars on the Warriors team at the end of the day. Like you said, you can't take one away. And then also you have to give some credence to this idea that there's experience there. I think we've been talking about it with the Lakers. There's just not enough experience to make a playoff push. And so the Warriors have all the experience in the world of these 7-game series and all the pressure that comes along with it. And here's what they're going to talk about. And you and KD's going to the Knicks and all this other stuff where the Bucks haven't had to deal with that. And I would not take them in a 7-game series against the Warriors because of that.
I will throw this on the table. And certainly if you made me bet an amount of money that mattered to me on the outcome of that series, I would bet it on Golden State. I'm not crazy. But what I would say is this. The best players on the Warriors historically have not always been at their best in those biggest moments. Last year, if Chris Paul doesn't get hurt, the Rockets beat them in a conference final that they had no business winning. And the truth of the matter is they were just so much more talented than Cleveland in the finals the last couple of years that they were going to overcome them no matter what. LeBron was basically playing by himself out there. This cast around the Greek Freak, while no one knows their names, is way better than the players that were around LeBron James in the finals last year. So if you put those best players on the Warriors up against a wall and make them play big in big moments, I'm interested to see if they do it.
Like you said to me, that's history. And last year's Cavs team does not make it out of the East this year because those teams have elevated and gotten better in that conference.
Milwaukee's better than them without question.
And
yes?
Steph Curry, while he hasn't been a finals MVP, that doesn't say that Kevin Durant hasn't been terrific in those moments because he has. He's been back-to-back finals MVP. So what happens in the playoffs
But he was so much better. See, he was so much better than the team that he was playing. When you go back, and I understand, now I told you not to bring history into this, and I just did. I understand. But if you go back historically, in big moments where these games are close and everything matters, it has not always been his best time. Go back to OKC.
Oh, okay, so who for Milwaukee has been at their best?
Well, no one's been there. They haven't had a chance to be there. We'll see.
So hopefully, again, I want to see your Bucks and Giannis, who I feel like has a great chance to be MVP, have a breakthrough year.
Sure.
Maybe this is going to be it. Before we start comparing them to the Warriors, how about they win the East first?
Okay.
That's going to be a gauntlet in itself.
Giannis, who is the MVP. I corrected him. All right, let's run the floor. Jalen, you and me, let's go.
Let's
start with Karl Anthony Towns, who returned to the court for the first time after being injured in a serious car accident last week. Towns, who said he was lucky to be alive, had one of the best games of the season, 34 points, 21 rebounds, 5 assists, and the T-Wolves win. How impressive is that given all the circumstances?
Truly impressive, and thank you for bringing up the car accident because so many times in sports you're able to take things for granted. Here's a guy that was driving to meet his team at the airport, got into a car accident, and actually missed a couple of games because he was in concussion protocol.
Yeah.
So for him to be back out there performing is a victory in itself. I'm glad to see him do well.
Yeah, we're all glad to see you do well, Karl Anthony Towns, and that's a great game for him in the win after getting back from the injury. Let's talk about the Suns, though, because they snapped a team record 17-game losing streak with a 124-121 win at the Heat, and Devin Booker said, "It feels like we're out. It feels like we're in prison." What do you make of those comments?
It sounds like a guy that hasn't been in the playoffs.
Okay.
Recommitted to sign long-term with the team because financially that's probably the best decision. They draft Ayton, they draft Jackson. You try to build through the draft, and these players have been productive but not knockouts. So it's frustrating for a guy that can be a star in this league to not be able to play on the big stage.
All right, still interesting comments. I mean, I would really hope that when you're making millions of dollars, you don't feel like you're in anybody's prison. Anthony Davis had 18 points and 6 rebounds in 21 minutes last night, but sat out the entire fourth quarter. And the Pelicans lost by 1, Jalen.
I don't like this for the game. I was always a person that didn't like when healthy players miss basketball games. Now when you have one of the top players in the game, obviously not playing in fourth quarters, you know what that does? It affects outcomes. And guess what all sporting events have in common? A betting line. And so this becomes something that just is ugly for the league. I hope they find a way to rectify this.
All right, well, the league is forcing AD to stay in there and play, so I feel like it's a conversation we should have with all of our former professional athletes.
Absolutely. I mean, it's candidly, it's ridiculous. And I understand why the NBA has taken the position that it has. It has a rule about not playing healthy stars. And there is it isn't the same thing to just say he's not playing versus when the Knicks weren't playing Enes Kanter and things like that. Anthony Davis is one of the faces of the league. I understand the league's position. But this situation has gotten completely away from everyone. I want to bring it out to a different sport. Josh, I mean, is this a circumstance you could imagine yourself in football where all of a sudden the game is being played out and they're taking your better players off the field because they don't want to win?
Listen, I've been there. I was in a game late in the season at one point in my career, and all of a sudden we start pulling guys off the field, specifically linemen and stuff like that. And as a quarterback, these guys are leaving the field. You're like, wait a minute, because now you start getting hit in the face, and the game's no longer fun. So I think about the players in this situation and the guys out there in the heat of battle, because you're out there to compete to win, no matter if it's the last game of the season, the first game of the season. And when this thing starts to happen, to your point, Jalen, it kind of it speaks to the integrity of the game a little bit, and it disrupts the locker room.
I would take it even a step further than just the players aspect. How about from the fans' perspective? How about for the fans? I mean, part of sports at the professional level is the entertainment aspect of it. That's why they're able to charge the astronomical prices that they charge. You're not giving a discount to the fans when you're choosing to discount the minutes that you're playing somebody out on the floor, or you're purposefully hoping and putting effort into the fact of, we want to lose. And so from that perspective, I think that this is something that should be addressed. And how to address it, I don't have the answer to that. But I do know this, that if I was a fan and I'm sitting courtside and I'm spending $4,000 for 2 tickets to watch the Knicks play right now, I'm upset. If I'm watching the Lakers, if they choose to go down, then I'm upset. Even though you get LeBron James, you can be happy about that.
But the Lakers are trying to win.
But the Phoenix Suns,
the Lakers are trying
the Bulls.
to win. There is a problem. And we must credit the NBA. They have tried to take at least a step in the direction of rectifying this problem. They've changed, for those of you who are not aware, they've changed the draft lottery rules to a certain degree now. The worst 3 teams in the league will have the same chance of getting the first pick in the draft. So it's not just a race all the way to the worst record in the sport. But that, at the end of the day, is a Band-Aid on a much bigger problem, in my opinion. They need to figure out, and this goes to all sports. It's a huge problem in baseball right now, by the way. Tanking is anathema to everything that sports is supposed to be, and until we come to a time where we stop incentivizing losing in all sports, this problem will not be solved.
But also, media and fans can't be hypocritical. Because when I watch Philadelphia play, all I hear people cheering about is the process.
Right, because the system is set up where it makes sense to do it. I'm not arguing with that. They need to change the system.
I agree with you, and it does happen in baseball, it's happening in football, but this is a unique circumstance because the Pelicans, they come into this season hoping to tank.
Right.
Remember, they made the playoffs last year and swept the 3-seed Portland Trail Blazers. They were hoping to build on last year, but when your best player in a unique circumstance says he doesn't want to be there anymore, we're not going to argue about J.R. Smith being benched by the Cavs this year.
Right.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk about Anthony Davis because he's a great player.
You guys are basically just talking about the letter of the law and the spirit of the law. And the spirit of it is to obviously keep players on the court so that fans can enjoy it. But we're not talking about the AD situation here. And I think that maybe an exception could be made to that rule, especially for this circumstance. All right, tomorrow on NBA Wednesday's doubleheader, we've got a pretty good one coming your way. Boston with a great point guard match matchup. We got Kyrie, we got Dame Lillard, Trailblazers, and the Celtics. Then it's off to Staples Center for LeBron and the Lake Show. They're going to try to avenge that loss to the Pelicans, who are trying to lose.
Lakers by 12.
Okay, by 12. He's already calling it. You can watch it on ESPN or the ESPN app starting at 7. Let's talk about a little bit of eye candy, guys. And let's keep it in the NBA. Mavericks at Clippers, under 10 seconds left. Doc Rivers calls a timeout at the Staples Center so that they can salute Dirk one last time.
Of all time, Dirk Nowitzki. Let's go. Let's go.
That's a cool moment.
How awesome is that?
A class gesture on a big-time stage, especially from a Clippers organization that has never retired a number. Have 0 statues in front of the Staples Center.
Shout out to Dirk. Okay, FIBA. Argentina up 1. You saw it with 1 second to play. The inbound and the shot is good. Awesome buzzer beater there by Reggie Hearn, who throws up the corner 3, and USA wins 84-83.
Northwestern. Reggie Hearn from Northwestern was a walk-on at Northwestern and has now made himself into a player who just hit that shot for Team USA.
We did not do that specifically so that Greeny could talk about Northwestern basketball. Coming up, we are going to let Greeny talk about golf. Will Tiger Woods win a major this year? We will find out as Greeny answers the question next.
That rocking chair would look great in our new house.
Oh, a new house, eh? Well, you should definitely see how Geico could help you save on homeowners insurance.
Nice tip. I'll give you $2 for the chair.
2? That's a Victorian antique.
All right. How much for the recliner then?
Wait. How did that get out here? That is definitely not for sale.
Is this a yard sale?
If it's in the yard, then it's for sale.
Here we go.
Geico. It's easy to switch and save on homeowners and renters insurance.
I am the DQ Chicken Strip Basket, and I have gone flavor crazy. Try spicy sweet glazed made with Frank's Red Hot or honey barbecue glazed. Either way, ranch me for maximum flavor craziness because I'm not fast food. I am fan food.
Fired up.
Duralast. Proven tough so you can plow through winter. And only at AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination.
The internet is new, it is different, and therefore we should fear it.
Come on, let's go!
Blast off! I'm gonna wreck it!
Oh, no bee puns.
They're beneath you.
Sorry.
The net is wicked dangerous.
We ain't afraid of danger. I am scared.
Ralph Breaks the Internet, now on digital and Blu-ray. It's only a matter of time until your check engine light comes on, or worse yet, your car needs repair. That could mean a big surprise auto repair bill. That's why it's so important you call CarShield today.
I was elated that I had CarShield. I was more than happy.
It's no fun when you have a car and it's broken and you can't pay for it to get it fixed.
So, if your vehicle has 5,000 to 150,000 miles, just tell us the make and model of your car or truck and get an instant plan quote. In a matter of minutes, you can be covered.
My experience with CarShield is that they absolutely come through every time I need them.
If my car breaks down, I can count on CarShield to cover it for me. CarShield definitely has my back.
Now it's the time to make the smart choice and protect yourself from sky-high auto repair bills. Call now for a free and instant protection plan quote. It's only a matter of time until repairs are needed, and once your car breaks down, it's too late.
Call 1-800-470-1134 or go to carshield.com. Get covered today.
I have my feelings. My feelings don't have me.
Bet you've got a lot of friends.
Yeah, I was prom queen.
Son of a...
You can be cool. No pet names. No honey, no boo. Got it?
Boo, come on, honey.
A lot of sexual tension in the car.
My charm is like a virus. Before you know it, boom, you're infected.
So you're gonna give me a virus?
Whiskey Cavalier. Series premiere Wednesday, 10/9 Central on ABC.
If there's one thing Hyundai SUVs know, it's safety. Consider this first-of-its-kind feature in the Santa Fe, which prevents the door from being opened into the path of oncoming traffic, called Safe Exit Assist. Chew on that before you buy your next SUV. Hyundai, the longer you look, the more there is to like.
Now, get up to $2,000 retail bonus cash on the 2019 Santa Fe.
Visit buyhyundai.com today.
If you're going to craft a crossover for the city, you want to stay connected to the world around. You consider corners, not just curves. You let architecture inspire design. The first of its kind Lexus UX and UX F Sport with the latest safety system standard, best-in-class turn radius, and best-in-class MPG. Also available in hybrid all-wheel drive.
Lease the 2019 UX 200 for $329 a month for 36 months.
Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
On Get Up, and we're running the bases with Mark Teixeira. We start with the Dodgers and Clayton Kershaw dealing with shoulder.
Well, I don't like it if I'm Clayton Kershaw, but if I'm the Dodgers, they have so much depth in their starting rotation. If there's one team in baseball that can get over a Clayton Kershaw not starting the season, the regular season, it's the Dodgers. And I just need him ready for the second half in October because they're the best team in the National League even without Clayton Kershaw.
So you're going to proceed as cautiously as you potentially could, right?
Extremely cautious. Make sure he's 100%.
All right, next up, new Mariners pitcher Yusei Kikuchi from Japan made his debut yesterday against the Reds. Throwing 2 innings. Check out the curveball. He's going to make Joey Votto look absolutely silly with that. Tex, what do you think?
Well, that's one of the best hitters in baseball, by the way. And you look at this little pause. A lot of the Japanese pitchers have this pause. So the first year or two when they come over and play in the big leagues, they make guys look really silly. The interesting thing is will he be able to locate that pitch consistently? Because we also know that if you're sitting on a hanging curveball, it can go a long way.
All right, speaking of pitchers in new places, the Yankees, James Paxton made his Yankee debut, if you will, as they pick him up in a trade this offseason. 2 scoreless innings, 2 strikeouts. How big an acquisition is this going to wind up being for the Yankees?
This is huge. This is their number 2 starter in my mind, and this is how good Paxton wants to be. You look at his line, 2 innings pitched, no hits, 2 Ks, but he doesn't like the 2 walks. He said, I wasn't sharp. I threw some strikes in the second inning, but the first inning wasn't good. He wants to be great. He wants to win a World Series this year.
And then finally, let's get to Troy Tulowitzki as we stay with the Yankees. He was released by the Blue Jays this offseason. A lot of people had sort of given up. He hit a home run in his first spring training at bat against the Blue Jays. How do you think that felt for him?
Oh, this was so big for Tulo, and he was yelling at himself around first base. Look at that. And Brian Cashman told me this offseason that Troy Tulowitzki is healthy. They think he's going to be the starting shortstop, and they think he's going to be really good. He's got some great baseball left in him.
How does that happen, that one team just gives up on a guy completely, and now all of a sudden he's the starting shortstop on a World Series favorite?
It's a change of scenery, and when you have a player that's been in your training room and on the DL for a few years, you just want to move on from him and try something else.
All right, running the bases, we'll see. Obviously, a lot more baseball to get to as we go, but now we get to, look, I have to admit it, it's my favorite sport. Dustin Johnson in the world of golf lapping the field at the World Golf Championship, Mexico Championships over the weekend. He won by 5 shots over his next closest competitor, Rory McIlroy. DJ finished 21 under par, having just 2 bogeys in the entire tournament. And Dustin Johnson, as we speak right now, is the Masters favorite at the Westgate in Vegas. He's 10-1 right now to win the green jacket. And you see the rest of the list there. McIlroy, Rose, and Tiger Woods all at 12-1. So I don't get this kind of excited very often, but I don't get David Feherty in here very often. He's the host of Season 9 of the Feherty Show on Golf Channel. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. He is my favorite person on television, present company included. David Feherty, so good to have you here. Thank you for coming by.
Nice to be here.
Let's start by talking about Tiger, because all golf conversation starts with Tiger. What do you think is a realistic expectation for him this year?
I think to win a major. Yep, and to get back to, maybe not number 1 in the world, but in that, conversation.
Yeah. How do you put, as one who lives in the sport, I love it, I watch every week anyway, but how can you, as one who lives in the sport, put into context just what his return means for the sport in terms of overall interest?
Well, you can see it in the crowds that show up every week. I think there's a 30 to 40% increase, and everybody's waiting, to see whether he'll play the Valspar, whether he'll play the match play or the Arnold Palmer. And there's huge celebrations, on every, all the organizers of each event that he plays in. The excitement that he brings to the golf course, the fact that, we got this amazing, batch of youngsters out there that grew up with Tiger Woods as their hero, and now they get to play against them. I mean, the storylines are amazing.
I said last year he made the Valspar feel like the Ryder Cup. I mean, that's genuinely what it felt like, because his return was so much on everybody's mind. Let me ask you this then, and this is the golf geek in me. On a given weekend, if absolutely everyone plays their best, who's the best player in the world?
Wow, that's such a tough one to answer. these days. I mean, if everybody plays their best, we've seen Tiger Woods' best. You know, there's nothing better than that. Jack Nicklaus would tell you, you know, that nobody's played golf like Tiger Woods ever.
Back then.
Back
but now,
then.
is he still that? If he plays his best right now, is he better than Dustin Johnson, better than Justin Rose, better than some of the other names that people would put in that conversation?
It would have been pretty difficult to be better than Dustin Johnson this week, that's for sure. Yeah. You know, I don't know what his best looks like at the moment, and neither does he. You know, if he had putted badly last week, he probably would have finished in the top 3. But he putted a lot worse than that.
Yeah, he putted as badly as you possibly can. That was Tiger last weekend. Okay, let me ask you this, because you make the sport fun, and you bring sort of a different perspective to it. Again, as one who, I live and breathe this stuff, but I can't sell it to my friends in here. They don't care about it at all. What, if anything, can you think of that we can do to make golf more fun for people who don't love it?
To make golf more fun? Well, you know, they're always talking about slow play. That's been an issue since, since golf started.
Yeah.
And all the rest. I reckon that they should put shock collars on them. You know,
shock collars?
Yeah, like you're training a hunting dog.
Yeah.
You know, you're too slow. You know, I mean, never mind.
J.B. Holmes would never have survived that round 2 weeks ago.
That's true, but he's had brain surgery, so it might help. Yeah.
You're too funny. I have a suggestion.
Yeah.
Do you know the 16th hole, what they play at Scottsdale the weekend of the Super Bowl every single year?
Oh, yeah.
And everyone is sitting around and they're yelling and they're screaming and they're cheering and all that kind of thing. And I think the players down deep inside actually hate it. I think that this would be great for golf. Every tournament should have one hole like this.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. And we used to have them. You know, one of my favorite tournaments was in Flint, Michigan, the old Buick, where they had the Flintstoners. They were behind the 17th green, and we had 3 or 4 different venues where there was that sort of party atmosphere. I couldn't agree with you more. We need more of that sort of stuff in golf.
Of anyone in the world who ever played the game of golf, if you could caddy for them for one round, who would you pick?
Well, other than my dad, I would... I'd caddy for Tiger Woods. You know, I was at the leading edge of that, you know, for so long. You know, watched him, I don't know, win maybe 50 or 60 tournaments. You know, right there, watching it. You know, the only closer place to be would be carrying the bag.
And then how about a non-golfer? What person in the world who is not a golfer would you most like to caddy for?
Wow, there's a good point. Jessica Biel?
Is that an option? Isn't she married to Justin Timberlake?
She is.
And he's a golfer.
So he's a golfer, yeah, so Justin wouldn't mind.
Okay, fair enough. I like that. Okay, how about this? There's a new thing, a new phenomenon, and anyone who plays golf recreationally knows what I'm talking about. A lot of people listen to music when they're playing golf. You hear that from golf carts and things like that. You like it or don't like it?
Yeah, I do like it. You know, Sam Snead used to, whistle to himself as he warmed up, you know, and then he used to say "oily rag," you know, as he swung the golf club.
Yeah.
You know, I like it. You know, calms people down, and the only thing I don't like about it is it sort of removes a little bit of the connection between the player and the crowd.
Yeah, it's one thing for Sam Snead to be whistling to himself. It's another thing for some 18 handicap listening to REM from his golf cart so loudly that I can hear it on the other side of the course.
Oh, yeah, there is that. No, I wasn't thinking of the Euro 18 handicap, actually, when you said that. I thought about pros. Some of the pros, actually,
are they
unfortunately.
Listening? Not when they play.
Not when they play, no, but when they will, have the earbuds in, you know, as they walk from the, practice tee to the first tee, and there's nothing playing in there. They just don't want to shake hands with, or knuckle bump or whatever.
Okay,
it's like, I can't hear you, I can't see you.
All right, I want you to talk to the audience out there. This is my quest in life, to grow the game. If someone is new to the sport and they're taking up golf, what is the worst piece of advice that people who are new to the game usually get?
Well, keep your left arm straight and your hand and your head down is the classic piece of bad advice, in terms of playing the game. But, don't take it too seriously. There's nothing worse than someone out there that couldn't hit the sea off the deck of the Intrepid, and taking themselves seriously. It's awful. Really, there should be some sort of.
We've seen a little bit of that on the course, and I know I'm kind of jumping around this year, but I don't get to do this very often. We've seen a little bit of that kind of behavior in the world this year. We saw Sergio Garcia with video that got out there of him in a bunker that was disgraceful. This past weekend, we saw DeChambeau with some behavior as well. What were your thoughts on this?
See, I don't think there's enough of this. It's brilliant. It's great television. Golf is supposed to drive you out of your mind. You know, we saw Bryson DeChambeau burying his putter in the green. I think he was just testing the density of the green, you know, along with the rest of his computations. But, you know, there's nothing funnier than your pal out there losing his mind completely. You know, it's part of the game, and it always should be.
All right, I have to bump, but very, very quickly. If you bet your life on one guy to win a major this year, one player who will win a major this year, who are you betting it on?
Tiger Woods.
Oh, I love it. That would be so great for the way. You can catch season 9 of the Faraday Show on the Golf Channel. I always do is the best. David Faraday, thank you so much for coming by. We'll take a quick break here. Coming up, why are we showing you John Tortorella? You're going to find out. He's going to make you laugh next.
I can't believe it.
That there's a lobster in our hot tub?
Oh, you guys. There's a jet. Oh, I needed this.
No, I can't believe how easy it was to save hundreds of dollars on our car insurance with Geico. We could have been doing this a long time ago.
So you guys stay at the hotel?
Yeah, we just got married.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm afraid of commitment. You know, I'm being boiled alive. Oh, shoot.
Believe it. Geico could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
That guy's the worst.
If your mouth is made to amaze, let Philips Sonicare give its care a raise. Get a month's worth of manual brushing in just 2 minutes. Philips Sonicare. Next level clean, next level care. There's always a way to make life better. Philips Sonicare.
When freedom is threatened around the world, when floodwaters rise and wildfires rage, wherever the fight, whoever the enemy, when America needs her best, she sends a soldier. Do you have what it takes? Find out at goarmy.com/warriors.
The King's turning up the heat and bringing the spice with these spicy nuggets. Filled with juicy white meat and priced at $10 for $1.49. A deal so hot you can taste it. 10 spicy or original nuggets for $1.49. Only at Burger King.
Emerge restored, replenished, fortified. Emerge every day with Emergen-C, packed with B vitamins, electrolytes, antioxidants, plus more vitamin C than 10 oranges. Why not feel this good every day? Emerge and see.
Bon boy.
Bon boy.
She's too good. Brilliant from
Bon boy.
Bon boy!
Discover the new language of travel. Marriott Bonvoy. 30 hotel brands, endless experiences, rewards, reimagined.
How do we tell people they get the best of both worlds with Sprint?
Let's tell everyone Sprint is now offering an unlimited plan and an iconic phone for just $25 a month.
Switch and get an unlimited plan with the Samsung Galaxy S9 lease and Hulu included for just $25 a month.
Hold up! Nelson, you smell great! And no sweat either? Wow! You're the new team captain!
Degree Advanced Protection. Ultimate protection activated every time you move. Degree. It won't let you down.
Tear up ticket. Find the cat. Make it rain. Change the music.
When I move, you move.
Use the rocket.
If only everything in life listened to you like your new A-Class.
Hey, Mercedes.
How can I help you?
Change color. Make it cooler. Play my music.
The A-Class, starting at $32,500.
This is a commercial about buying cars. That's a car, this is the phone, and this is drive time.
Cool.
Need to get a car with your tax refund?
OMG, do I. But wait, where's all the sexy shots of cars driving on city streets with no traffic?
We don't need them. 99% of people who apply get approved. It takes 2 minutes, and you can do it from anywhere. All you need is your phone.
What?
Yup. Down payments with drive time are $1,000 less on average, so that tax refund can go a lot further.
Holy moly, that is a low down payment.
Go to drivetime.com and see how much car you can get with your refund in 2 minutes. Drive time. Genius!
I wanted to play football since I was like 3 years old.
Go!
Combine is make or break for me.
I always loved the game. I want to do this forever.
We leave you with a smile. You're going to like this. Columbus Blue Jackets' John Tortorella holding a news conference yesterday, and here's what happened.
Center, but says he can go to center or wing. Yeah, but I Mrs. Reed? Mrs. Reed? Hi, this is John Tortorella. I'm in the middle of a press conference here, and you're no, that's okay. I'd rather talk to you than your son. So I'll be done in about 5 minutes. I've seen you call a few times, so it's rude of him not to call you back, but he's busy right now. It's nice talking to you. Okay, have a nice day.
What do you think?
Love it. I mean, look,
I love her personality.
The reporter's mom's calling. He stops the press conference to talk. That's a win.
Love it. Have a nice
Good
day.
fun. Thanks for being here today. We'll see you tomorrow. First Take starts next.
Yeah.
Where's my DJ? Put that camera on me. Can't believe what I just heard. Are you good or bad at what you're doing? You're terrible. You're the worst. Something is wrong with you. This is the definition of player hating.
The best show on television.
Stop right there. He's the best. Definitely co-sign that sentiment.
Thanks for tuning in to First Take.
Start the damn show.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome into First Take on a Tuesday. Thank you for hanging with us. The crew is in the building. Stephen A. Smith, Max Kellerman, I'm Molly Karam. Fellas.
How y'all doing? Good morning.
I'm good. Let's get it.
Let's go.
The hits keep coming for the Lakers, falling last night to the struggling Grizzlies. Los Angeles is now 4-10 in their last 14 games. LeBron not having it. Doesn't have time for folks that get distracted.
At this point, if you are still allowing distractions to affect the way you play, then this is the wrong franchise to be a part of, and you should just come and be like, listen, I can't do this. Like, seriously, if you're distracted by playoff pushes and then all the stuff that's been talked about this year, that just come and do your job. We do our job at a high level, and that's not a distraction. That's what you want. That's what you want every game. You want to feel like you're fighting for something.
Stephen A.
Yes.
Biggest problem with the Lakers?
Max Kellerman. Biggest problem with the Los Angeles Lakers is LeBron James.
Oh.
Let me say this.
Oh.
As we sit here right now today.
Excuse me. Did you just... The biggest problem with the Lakers is LeBron James.
Did I stutter? The biggest problem with the Los Angeles Lakers is LeBron James. And keep that camera on me because I got a lot of stuff on my mind that I need to get off my chest. From this day forward, we're going to stop calling LeBron James the best player in the world. We're going to stop that right now. LeBron James is obviously great. The Mount Rushmore and all of that other stuff. I mean, do I need to put up the ticket for you? Because God forbid I'm critical now. God forbid I do that. God forbid that I say, oh my goodness, LeBron James, that I point out that he ain't playing the defense on too many occasions, that guys are blowing by him, that guys are salivating for the opportunity for LeBron James to be defending them so they can abuse him because he's not 100% healthy. We recognize that, okay? And what I'm primarily saying about him not being the best player in the world right now is because LeBron James is not 100% healthy. Okay, if he's 100% healthy and he's got that extra motor in him, then that would be different. But age, attrition, or injury, something is not right. He doesn't look like himself. I understand that Kuzma isn't giving me what I expected from him over recently, even though Brandon Ingram dropping 27 one game, 29 another, 32 last night, whatever the case may be. The bottom line is he's too inconsistent. Lonzo Ball is injured. Luke Walton is a problem. He's a liability right now because I don't understand how you sit up there and you get a guy, in a trade like Muscala or somebody, and he plays when you first acquire him, and then he's got a whole bunch of DNPs before last night, for crying out loud, okay? I don't understand how Lance Stevenson can be balling in the first half and doesn't see but a second of playing time in the second half. So there's a lot of things to point out, but guess what? LeBron James would overcome it, the great LeBron James, the greatest player in the world. The king, yo king. Sorry to sound like my man Shiggy, but it's the truth. Yo king, okay? The greatest player in the world. Where is he? The fact of the matter is that we're seeing LeBron James and we're hearing a bunch of sound bites. We're seeing 8 for 23 shooting like last night. We're seeing him call cats out. But LeBron James has overcome lesser rosters. Now, he's in the Western Conference, so it's a different ballgame. And maybe that has something to do with it. But at age, maybe the fact he's 34 years of age, maybe that's got something to do with it. I don't know what the case is. But all I'm saying is to you is I'm looking at the Los Angeles Lakers. And I'm watching this team perform. And regardless of their inconsistencies, their inability to shoot the basketball, whatever the case may be, tell me one thing that you're seeing from the rest of them that was not anticipated. What we didn't anticipate is that LeBron James would look less than what we know LeBron James to be. Now, again, I'm attributing most of it to injury. But damn it, there's other dudes that are playing in this league. And even if it's because you're injured, there are dudes, mainly your boy, the Greek Freak, mainly a Paul George, to a lesser degree of James Harden. Don't get me started with Kevin Durant, okay, and Steph Curry and what them boys have been doing. LeBron James, we are going to stop this right now in terms of calling him the best in the world based on the present moment. The last several years, yes. The beginning of the season, yes. Since he's come back, he does not look like himself, and we're going to call it like that. We're going to call it like that.
A lot on the Tuesday, Stephen A.
So you are on the record. You started this segment by saying from this day forward, we're going to stop calling LeBron James the best player.
Until you start playing like it again. Yes.
I predicted before this season began that by the end of the season, LeBron James would no longer be the best player in the world. I predicted that Anthony Davis would replace him.
Actually, you said next season we'd be saying
at the end of this season. It was the end
And
of
he
this
said
season.
Anthony Davis, I remember.
You didn't say Anthony Davis.
And I said Anthony Davis.
That's accurate.
And I was incorrect. The answer, if